Well, hi everybody. Gail here, back now with Mary Kay Underpainting. So you're looking at my face going, whoa, what's going on there, Gail? Okay, so this side has all of the products for the underpainting. This side has nothing, and I'm not going to put anything on it so we can have a comparison with the underpainting sign versus the not underpainting sign. So what are my prep steps? And there's 8 actual steps. So step number, well, pre-steps are, of course, cleanser and moisturizer. So it's daytime, so I've got on my SPF 30. Let that soak in. But step number 1 is choose just one drop, no more than that. Actually, a half drop would be better. Put it in the palm of my hand, and then I just pat it around my face and then go back and pat what's left on my hand. Why do we use nourishing oil? Because nourishing oil helps everything else glide better on the complexion, and that's the whole purpose behind that. Once that's in place, now it's time to neutralize my skin. So step number 2 is use a little bit of very light CC cream and foundation primer. And you put a dollop on your hand, like maybe the size of a pea, of both of these products, using the Mary Kay liquid foundation brush. Mix them up, and then just go ahead and paint them on your face. Well, I've already done that. Remember, this side has nothing on it. This side has very light. Now, I normally wear from the old Mary Kay, the retired foundation, I wore Mary Kay. Oh goodness gracious! I used Mary Kay the liquid foundation and the luminous. And let me just double check my tube on this one. I want to say that it was beige 130. It was. Okay. So in the new, that's going to be Mary Kay Luminous, and it'll be in the beige number 7. So let's go through those steps for the underpainting from kind of beginning to end. So step number 1 is that you've got on your foundation, primer, and CC cream. And my next tool that I'm going to be using is the Mary Kay contour brush to put on all of my dots, because I feel that's real important. So I always go from light to dark. So the first thing I put on were my light number 1 multi-benefit concealer. I want to highlight above my eyebrows, around just the edge of my eye socket, the inside corner of my eye, if you can see that there. Oops, I forgot a spot. Also, I want to make sure that I put a line down the center of my nose, and right here, I want it just because there's a little bit of a shadow on the outside of the nostril. So center of nose, outside there, dot on my chin, and then just above my lip. So that works as a highlighter. So that is everything with light number 1. Next step down from there will be to use our Mary Kay Spark of Change cream blush. So 3 dabs on that on my cheek. And how do I know where to put that? Well, imaginary line that goes from the side of the nostril out to the ear, out actually to the whole of the ear. So you don't want your blush down farther than that. So I want it on the high point there and more to the outside. So definitely on the outside of my eye zone. So like actually on the outside of my iris. And then just pat that up almost to the temple, just 3 dots right there. Then the last step, going back to using the concealer brush, cleaning it off on a little piece of paper towel, and then adding the third color, which was the deep number 2. I could have used deep number 3, but I didn't have any with me, so deep number 2. So wherever I want the complexion or my face to look, it's a little bit recessed, a little bit thinner perhaps, so around the forehead area. If I were to pull my cheeks in, this is where I want a contouring effect. So again, just using that deep number 2 multi-benefit concealer. And then on the jawline here, wherever there's a little bit of a shadow and it looks a little bit puffy, that's for sure where I put some of the concealer right down in that area there. Okay, next step from there is it's time to do some blending. So using the new Mary Kay blending sponge, dampened, I go from top to bottom, but I always like to start again blending all my light parts first. So I'm just patting this in just enough so that the line disappears or the dot edge disappears enough, but not so much that it can't read through in my foundation. So in the blusher, that's going to be tricky to do, but I'll do my best. See how easy that is to blend? Okay, and in the eyebrow here. Next will be to use a little bit, and now start to blend the cheeks a little bit. I just want to take the polka dot look away, but I still want to have some highlight coming through. And it may look a little bit bold right now, but once you put on the foundation, that comes through and shows just enough. Okay, then I'm going to turn my sponge over for the last part, and this is going to be to do the concealer piece. Oh, you know what? I forgot a piece right here on my lip, a little bit on my chin. You just want some highlight there, and you just want to kind of smudge that so it doesn't look like an obvious dot. Okay, now rotating my sponge over, I'm going to start to blend the contouring, the multi-benefit concealer on the forehead area. Not a complete blend, and I stay a little bit away from my hairline. I've noticed that with the salt and pepper hair that picks up color real easily, so I don't really want that going on. So just blend this a little bit in this area. Okay, and then in the jawline, same kind of thing. We're prepping this because remember, we're going to put foundation over this in just a minute. I just want to take what looks like a possible dot out, just enough to blend the dot. Okay. Well, 2 more steps to go. Next is going to be to put on my foundation, and I put a little bit of my foundation actually on the top of my hand. They say, just to let it warm a little bit. Okay, so it's warmed up a little bit, and I'm going to wipe my sponge just a smidge, just in case I have anything else on there. I'm going to pick up that foundation, and I'm going to start out the top. I'm just going to do a soft pat, 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 pat. Just over the eyebrow. Now remember, the other side of my eye, complexion has nothing on it. This is the medium beige 7, which, how do you know what shade to use, Gail? Well, go to Mary Kay Foundation Tools, Mary Kay InTouch, and let the foundation tool read your complexion. It's going to give you 3 colors. If you select the luminous or the matte finish, that's going to tell you what liquid foundation to wear. You can also select CC cream or silking setting powder. So I just went with the matte foundation. Just pat this up a little bit all over, get on the side of the nose. Some people do put a little of the deep concealer in here to make their nose look thinner, but I figure my nose is okay. The other thing I want you to notice is, remember my last video I talked about using the Instant Puffiness Reducer. Notice a difference from one side to the other. This side, no puffy. This side, you can see the shadow on the puffy. It's Instant Puffiness Reducer. And I probably waited about 15 minutes in between videos to have that happen. Okay, now we have that done. Then our last step is to put a little bit of translucent loose powder on, just kind of set everything. So that's what's happening next. Now I don't put any concealer right around under my eye. You can if you're not using Instant Puffiness Reducer. Since I'm using Instant Puffiness Reducer, that's more important to me than having a bright light under here. If I were to put the concealer over that, it neutralizes it out and it no longer works. So I just opt to not do that. Okay, and just for the giggles, let's go ahead and put translucent loose powder on the other side. Just take the shine off. No foundation, nothing on this side except moisturizer with the nourishing oil. Okay, I'm done. You see the difference? Nothing on this side. This side, a little bit of contouring. I think it makes a difference. How about you? Super simple. 8 steps will be published in this video. Next video, or will be linked in this video. Next video down, you'll just have to look in the description for that. Next video down from here, I'm going to be doing the look of the month. So all prepped and ready to go for look of the month. Okay, thanks for watching.